Are you born here?
No, I was born in Australia. Yeah, in Sydney.
So have you been living in Israel nearly the whole life, your whole
Well,
life?
I've been here for 21 years. I'm 26 soon, so almost. I grew up here. My childhood was here. My memories are from here.
Yeah.
This is my home.
So how is it to live in Israel and to be young in Israel?
Well, it has very good sides. You have a lot of freedom, which you wouldn't have in other countries. Both because it's safe, basically, even in the city, to walk around and to feel free. You don't have to. Your parents won't be worried about you. You can come back late in the evening and they won't think that there's anything wrong.
But may I ask you, when you say it's safe from what?
Well, it's safe crime-wise. There isn't high crime. I mean, it's just safe to walk in the street. I mean, you can be in a park and your parents won't be worried that there'll be someone lurking or anything like that, opposed to other countries.
But are they not worried about that it could be something about terrorism or something?
Well, terrorism usually happens in public places. So, I mean, if you educate your child not to go to shopping malls, this again is more a few years ago than now. Right now we don't have very much terror anymore. But if you educate them not to go to very public places, then you don't have to be worried, no.
How was that when you were a child, that they had to tell you all about that?
Well, I actually grew up in a different time in Israel. I grew up in a time where there wasn't any terror in the cities. Only when I was 17, 18 it started. So basically I grew up in a very ideal environment. A very calm, you could say, actually.
But you went out, have you been to the military?
Yeah, I was in the army. It's compulsory. I did a few jobs there. I was a new recruit instructor.
How was that?
Well, it was interesting. I mean, it is a contribution to your country. And I was teaching soldiers how to be soldiers. So it was a very motivating experience in the beginning. Later on, I became a medic and actually went to the Gaza Strip, and I was there every week out of a month for a period of time. And that was a bit tough. That was the first time I actually encountered the conflict. I mean, I was in a small outpost, and you could hear gunshots at night, and you had terrorists basically walking around there. We had to spot them if we were guarding. I was a part of a team which was there to give medical assistance to the military.
You were scared?
Yeah, it's very scary. I mean, it was at the time. We're out of there now, but at the time we had to get to our outposts, and there was one road which brought us there. There was a big danger that just some Palestinian would come and just fire at us weapons, any kind. It could be even missiles or anything. And we got there. We didn't get there in armored cars at the time. We didn't have. We weren't. Let's say. We weren't a big force, so they didn't have. You know, they couldn't give us armored trucks or anything. So we came there in just a medical jeep. You know. So it was very dangerous, and it was quite scary. Yeah.
How did this affect your personality?
Well, it made me very stressed. I remember at the time. I for the first time felt that that something might happen to me, and that my future isn't certain. You know, it's a very tough feeling. I mean, 30% of the young people in this country feel that for 3 years every day, or 2.5, because they do basic training in the beginning, but they definitely feel that tomorrow isn't certain.
How did you handle it?
Well, you know, you come back on the weekends and you go out a lot, and you spend a lot of time with your friends. You basically just come back and party. That's the best thing you can do, or the best thing I could do at the time. but it catches up on you. You know, when you come out of the army, you're quite a wreck, and you have to kind of find yourself, and that's what many young Israelis do. They find themselves. They go traveling. They put themselves in totally different environments where they're very calm and relaxed.
Is it a way to forget what they have been through?
Well, it's a way to have time to deal with it, because eventually when you bottle down feelings, you have to deal with them, you know, and that's what they do. They just, I don't know, I mean, it depends again. If you go to India and take a lot of drugs, then you're probably not dealing with anything. But that's the idea in any case, to have time for yourself.
Okay, you told us that your mother is Swedish and your father is originally from Germany, but he is also Jewish. What do you feel? Are you Swedish, Jewish, German, or what?
Well, I choose it as it comes comfortably.
Israeli also, I forgot that.
I choose it as it comes comfortably,
yes.
Basically.
How?
Well, I work with people. I'm a service giver. I work in a bar. If I want to feel like I belong, I'll say I'm Israeli. If I want to feel like I don't, I'll say I'm Swedish or Australian or German. It depends on me. I have the freedom. I have a freedom which not every Israeli has. I can live wherever I want. I can basically be whoever I want. It's a very, very good feeling. It's a plus for me. I feel it anyway.
You belong to many countries.
I belong to many countries. But essentially, I'm Jewish. That's what defines me. I would say. That's how I was brought up as well.
But for example, do you know anything about Sweden? I mean, your mother is from Sweden.
Well, I've been to Sweden a few times on holiday, on family events. Half of my family still lives in Sweden, and I do know the Swedish culture through my family and through being there.
What do you have in mind for the future when you are thinking about Israel?
Well, Israel is a growing country. It's always been in the last 58 years. I think we're going in a very good direction. I think we haven't reached our potential yet, and our potential is very, very big. There's a lot of smart people in this country and hard-working people, and a lot of good ideas. There's a lot of competition on the other hand, but a lot of good ideas, and basically you can introduce many new things to this country which haven't been here yet, and they will succeed because people like good ideas and they're open for them. It's a very open country. A lot of cultures here contribute to it. It's a melting pot, basically, and a lot of cultures which have joined this country recently haven't yet been incorporated in the culture. So in the future, I would say that this place would be a more cultural place than it is today, with a lot of cultural diversity, and financial success, I would say, will also come in the future, more than comes today.
And you will stay here forever, or do you have any plans?
I think this is my home, yeah, definitely. You never know, but I'd like to travel more, I'd like to see more, but it's just to get a different perspective and to see other cultures.
Do you feel that Israel also belongs to this globalizing situation? I mean, everything is globalizing, you say?
There's no doubt about it. Every country which is involved in any amount of industry, or, you know, I mean, there are a lot of American companies here. So, and they're owned by Americans. Then, even Israeli companies which are Israeli owned have offices and factories all around the world. I mean, it's every country experiences that.